strike, protecting your family and property are top priorities, but some disasters happen so quickly, forcing immediate evacuations and little to no time to prepare.
All right, so the aftermath can be equally devastating, if not more. So we want to help you get ahead of the curve by preserving important documents before tragedy strikes. Joining us this morning, Ted Jenkin, CEO of Oxygen Financial. Always good to have you here, Ted. Let's just take the Lahaina example.
Yeah.
I mean, people had to get out the door lickety-split. What would you say in a situation like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think most families need to set up some sort of online financial account aggregation system. You have places like Mint and eMoney so you can see all your financial documents, but there's no reason today that people shouldn't have an online safety deposit box. It's a place you scan up your wills, your passports, your birth certificates, your driver's licenses, because if something happens like that, this way you can print it off almost anywhere. And people should have a master password system. It could be a Dashlane or a LastPass, because if you have it in a notebook and there's a fire in your house and you don't have your passwords anymore, but you have to have a way to access all your information. I like an online safety deposit box.
What about insurance? I mean, it is a mess right now, especially in places like Florida.
People are getting dropped.
Yeah, in Florida and California is where you hear a lot of the stories, but I have a feeling we'll see that more across the country. So what should people be looking out for in these policies to try to not get dropped or even to get any coverage at this point?
I mean, it's time to get Dusty the policy off the shelf and probably read it and sit down with your agent. But people remember their homeowner's insurance, it generally doesn't cover flood.
No.
You have to get flood insurance generally 30 days before the flood. In a lot of cases now it doesn't cover fire. That's a problem as well. So you also want to look at things like, does this cover replacement value? Will it replace everything in my house at the original cost, or does it have actual cash value? What is everything worth today? And a lot of these policies now have a hurricane deductible. That means on top of your regular deductible, you have an additional deductible if you're in that hurricane area. So these are all things that people should look at when they're looking at a policy.
It's no fun, but
they may not have that deductible saved.
Yeah,
especially with the economy the way it is.
That too. I mean, I think you can call whoever your insurer is and be like, walk me through this.
You have to do that.
You know, detail by detail.
Before the season.
Yeah, but you're exactly right. A lot of carriers are moving out now and saying, look, we're a for-profit business. We're not non-for-profit. So we're not going to insure you in certain cases.
I asked Governor DeSantis about this when I was down in Florida, because I think there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
You mentioned a couple of things at the front, this electronic safety deposit box and this electronic password. I want you to do that again, because I think those are really key things. I don't want to just blow over them for people listening to this.
No, there are a lot of companies out there like Everplans where you can set up an online safety deposit box. It is electronic. You can scan up almost anywhere, things like your birth certificates, your social security card, your driver's license, your wills.
Go to a place to scan these documents up? Or?
Yeah, I mean, you could scan them at a public library, or you could scan them at your office, or if you have a scanner at home, you should do that now, because you could have some sort of fireproof safe or a water-resistant safe, but it still may not be there, right?
Some of these documents are this thick, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's true, but that's better than not having them at all. If you can't recover them, then you have a real problem in finding all your financial information. It's easier if you go somewhere and you're unhoused for a week or 2 or a month or whatever it may be. You want to get access to this information.
And the passwords.
Passwords are big. I don't like storing them in a notebook. If there's a fire, they're burned. You can't get at them anymore. So I would use something like Dashlane or LastPass is what I use right now. It's one master password, and then you can get into your usernames and passwords, and it will generate passwords that are very difficult to crack. So it's all a good reason to have those systems.
We have about 30 seconds left. How important is it to have a cash reserve, and how many people can even afford a cash reserve? You said 6 out of 10 people are living paycheck to paycheck?
Yeah, CNBC just ran this. 6 out of 10 people are living paycheck to paycheck. It's super important. If you're unhoused, you may have to wait to get money from the insurance company. What if you don't have credit cards or you can't get an ATM machine? Cash is still king, right? You can use it somewhere. So even if it's a little bit, $500 or $1,000, if something happens like this and you take it on your person, you can pay for things for a few days, before you actually get money in your hands.
Ted, likely tougher times ahead with the economy before it gets better, right?
It's hard right now. Yeah, absolutely. Inflation's still big. Interest rates are still up. I think we're going to see a little bit of a storm here, financially speaking, before it gets better again.
Ted Jenkin, CEO of Oxygen Financial, thanks for joining us and with some great advice this morning. Always great to have you, man. Thank you.